All right, it's really frustrating that our state senators, our state representatives, and our U.S. representative doesn't care about the murders of children or even about the murder of a president of the United States, specifically JFK, or the murders of real women. Here's a copy of the letter that I sent to my Congressman, Bill Johnson. You can see that I worded it very nice, and he should recognize me as a friendly source, not somebody out to get him, because after all, he does occasionally come and visit our church. Shake hands with him, say hi. This is not adversarial by any stretch of the imagination. So here is our Congressman, Bill Johnson, and here's the letter that I sent to him, and I had to put it on my own page because I just suspected it wouldn't be very long that it would be on their pages. Not just his, but my state senator, state rep, and all that as well. Hello, it was nice to see you at church, at Fellowship Baptist Church in Vienna before the coronavirus hit. Also, I enjoy listening to your calls. Many people are asking, why is all this happening? And by the way, he had just called the other day and done a teleconference, and get a robocall that says if you want to be a part of the conference, just keep listening and so on. So anyway, I was just listening to his conference call. So many people are asking, why is all this happening? And I want to give them real answers. Hugh Squire helped Congress reform the Berne Convention in the early 80s. He was an ASCAP publisher who was really big in the music industry and who created the trademark Bottom Line that has been stolen by Fox, the WWE, thousands of bars, and others, including President Kennedy's press secretary Fletcher Nebel. He was detained for the murder of Jimmy Hoffa before Chucky O'Brien was detained. Someone tried to murder Hugh 10 years to the day on August 16, 1987, after Elvis died on August 16, 1977. He helped publish Elvis, and his family wrote Elvis's songs by downing his Flight 255 in Detroit. The same group that did this hunted down and murdered his ex-wives and his current wife at the time, 4 in total. The same group also murdered children and threw them on his property. Hugh Squire, at 4 years old, was chained to a toilet by the family of former Michigan Governor Chase Osborne, and that family has also tortured and murdered other children in Oakland County, Michigan. The same Osborne family, Mike Osborne and Gina Osborne, now run the Sex Crimes Division of the FBI. For this reason, the FBI refused to take his reports. Senators, including but not limited to Republican senators, intentionally work with media to hide all this. Senator Graham comes from Graham Media in Detroit, WJR Radio, etc., where Rush Limbaugh and others got their start, and where Emily Barr is currently CEO. She is from the same Barr family as Attorney General Barr and Roseanne Barr, who also got her start there. Roseanne has chased Hugh around his whole life, offering diversionary stories to keep other media away from knowing the real truth of Hugh's life. She recently did the exact same thing to little old me here in Belpre, Ohio, because I'm telling Hugh's story. I have hundreds of pages of notes and can really help you to understand who murdered George Floyd and why. I can help you understand so much more, and no, I do not believe Freemasons or the Illuminati or any other such nonsense is responsible. I do, however, believe that there are evil groups who work with some government officials who should be brought to justice. I made the following post not too long ago, and I will put the video to which it refers in the comments section. The picture is the book that he showed in the video. In short, the same people who did these terrible things to Hugh, to his wives, and to children, have police connections. That does not implicate that all police, or even a majority of police, most of whom are good people. However, certain police are corrupt and need to be brought to justice. Hugh showed this book in his video 2 years to the day, May 25th, 2018, before Floyd's murder by Derek, which was May 25th, 2020, obviously. Notice the names on it are Lloyd and Fred Derrick, like Derek the cop, and so you got Lloyd or Floyd. And at the beginning of Hughes' video, he played Pink Floyd for very close to the same amount of time that Derek's knee was on Floyd, about 8 minutes and 46 seconds, which, by the way, is the exact time the first plane hit the World Trade Center at 8:46 a.m. Hugh really is the truth of 9/11, just as he claims, and the murder of Floyd was intentionally planned around the events of Hugh's life. And here's the book. You see it's got Lloyd and Frederick as he's playing Pink Floyd in the background. So here is Bill Johnson's homepage, and as you can see, what I posted is not there. Here's Bill Johnson's political page. Not there. Okay. And then I put it on my state senator for Ohio State Senator Jay Edwards. Not there. None of these people care. Here's he was state rep. This is state senator. Sorry, State Senator Frank Hoagland. I put it on his page too. Nothing. They took it off. All these guys don't care about that information. The same people who killed, and I put this on the other ones, I didn't put it on Bill Johnson's one, but the same people who killed George Floyd is the same group that killed a local black woman in our neighborhood in 2011, just a week before, or week before Hugh's wife was killed. Okay, Jalea Davis. I have a whole playlist dedicated to that. Now, these people don't care about local murders in their community. They don't care about why George Floyd was killed. Really? They don't care about any of that? Now, I noticed, interestingly, not too terribly long ago, that Bill Johnson was on Fox News with the Kennedy girl from Fox News. I can't remember her first name. Lisa Kennedy. There we go. Anyway, so and I knew at the time what they were doing. Kennedy Johnson. Obviously, they were putting them together, just like President Kennedy and Vice President Johnson. Johnson killed, planned the murder of Kennedy. So they were alluding to that. And isn't it interesting that back in 1963, right after Johnson helped plan the murder of the president, that he also had the Duncan kids murdered, and they reported it as they were all poisoned. You can't find any articles about that today. Okay, unless maybe you could go do some microfiche researching in some libraries or something. You're not going to find that story anymore. You have to just remember it from someone that was alive at the time, like Hugh does. But Hugh doesn't just remember it. They called his house. President Johnson called his house and offered condolences. All right. Now, Now, if you Google that today and you Google Duncan kids die of poisoning in 1963, you see an example of how the CIA intentionally covers up history. And they do this in thousands of different ways. Here's a Duncan, okay, who's a child molester, okay, convicted serial killer, and he was born in 63. What are the chances, right? And you can do that with so many stories over and over again. And then there he is in Idaho, or some other stories. They like when they make a story fake. A lot of times they will make that story happen in Idaho. I don't want to be any more specific because I'll have people argue with me and say that the fake story is the real story on something else. So just look and go see what stories are in Idaho, and you'll see sometimes that the CIA is making other fake stories in Idaho. So what a tragedy. What a tragedy that our representatives wholly, completely don't care. I don't care if you go to my church. Okay? If you don't care about the murder of children, if you don't care about children in your neighborhood that were murdered, if you don't care about the murder of a president of the United States, none of that just seems to matter to you at all. You're just going to take that down. I could understand if you want to control the narrative to your page and you want to send me a letter, hey, I'll look into that. Thanks for alerting that to my attention. I can understand that. Okay. No reply, nothing from any of them. You know, and in Bill Johnson's case, he made it known to us during the teleconference call that he had to be in session in Congress to vote that night, but he had time to take that post off his Facebook page the same night he's in Congress, or maybe he's got secretaries to do it for him. I don't know. The very least they could have said is, thank you for bringing this to our attention. Maybe you'd like to have a meeting and talk about it sometime. But I have to wonder, Bill Johnson? Johnson was paired with Kennedy. Is this the same Johnson family that killed the Duncan kids and killed the president? Is that why he doesn't care? I don't know. I don't know his history. The name's the same. The media pairs him with a Kennedy on purpose. Well, that's what your CIA does. They're always doing this to hide the real truth. They're not going to help expose pedophiles, really. I'm done voting for you. I've always voted Republican, okay? I voted for all these characters. I voted for Bill Johnson. I voted for Jay Edwards. I voted for Hoagland. Not anymore. Not unless you respond and tell me you actually care about murders in your community. Until you respond and tell me you care about dead kids in Oakland County and that your government had something to do with it. If you don't care about any of that, well, you're not getting my vote. You say, oh, well, some evil Democrat will get up there and they won't care either. You're right. They might. But what difference does it make voting for somebody if they're not going to do any better than the other guy, I'll just write Hugh Squire on all my ballots. I'll just vote for him for state senator. I'll vote for Hugh Squire for state representative, and for U.S. representative, and for president of the United States. How's that? He's the only person I know that's telling the truth. Everybody else you see is just lying and doesn't care, or is actively involved in covering up the truth. I mean, nobody cares that the Osborne family is in charge of the sex crimes division of the FBI. You're just going to take that down and not even respond to that? Really? Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.